Life. Interesting at very least. So full of possibilities and wonderful surprises. And it doesn't matter if you're feeling down today. I promise you, it will eventually pass. What is important here is that we are never too long in happiness, nor too long in sadness, but something in between. That's the way things are. If we have never tasted sadness, we can possibly give any value to joy. And today I'm not feeling particularly joyful, but I'm feeling fine. And I will take advantage of that mood to create some art. So come along, friends. Hello friends, my name is Ari Herger, and today I'm going to paint for you. I do apologize for being dressed like this, but today is extremely cold, especially in my room. It's always cold, even in summer. Since the last painting of 2016 was a very colorful painting, it's only right that the first painting of 2017 is equally colorful. So today I'm going to paint a landscape. Well, my favorite season is autumn, and in 2016 I was absolutely overwhelmed with work, and I had no time to enjoy autumn. And I literally had no time to go to the window, look outside and see the changings of nature. So today I'm going to make a landscape with a few trees, and let's see what comes out of it. Let's start. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is the line of the horizon. I don't need a lot of ground. I'm going for the sky and the top of the trees, just a little bit of the ground. Let's start with the background. Light blue, a bit grayish, with a tiny bit of magenta. This is the kind of sky near dusk, but not yet at dusk. So it's still a very light blue sky, but with a little tinge of purples and magentas, because night is drawing near, but it's still early. It's like the autumn sky at 3-4 o'clock, a very smooth background. Of course I'm going to cover all this part from the horizon up. I'm going to cover it with this color, but I'm not going to use all this part as sky. I'm going to cover it with a little bit of mountains, fading mountains in the distance, and then the top of the trees. But I need to cover the canvas with this color, creating a first layer of paint, so that the other colors will just grab to it. Well, I'm not feeling in the mood to talk too much today. As I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not feeling particularly joyful, and I can't force it. I just can't fake it. Well, personal things, that's the way life is. Just normal. Even so, I am painting for you. This is a kind of therapy, right? I just hope that the very colorful painting that I want to create doesn't end up being as gloomy as my mood, or as gloomy as my heart. Maybe you are feeling a bit down today as well. So join me in this ride in search for happier days. But if you're feeling fine and there is cheer in your heart, well, just concentrate on the painting and don't listen to what I say. A little bit lighter near the ground, because this won't be the horizon, this won't be the sky, but it will be a kind of misty atmosphere behind the trees. Alright, let's go to the ground. White with a little bit of black. A fine, smooth grey. As the first layer of the ground. Have you ever seen digital art? Sometimes there isn't a lot of detail on the backgrounds, but there are a lot of layers of different colors which create an illusion, much like Impressionism. An illusion that there are different elements in the painting, and you can actually see shapes. That's what I'm going to create here in the first layer of the ground. I'm just going to throw a few colors, browns and greens, and probably oranges and reds because of autumn and the leaves on the ground. And I will create this first illusion. Now let's go for the first mountains. There won't be much detail. They are in the distance. Very faint color. It's blue, just an average blue with white and a bit of magenta, and just a tiny little bit of gray. Just a little bit of snow in it. This is like another background, another layer of background. The important thing here won't be the mountains, but the trees that I will create in here. So you go from a darker blue, as I have said, with black, magenta, and a little bit of white, and as you come down to your left, the mountains start to fade away, just pushing the paint down. Tiny little peaks in here, smaller mountains. As you can see, the mountain in the back is lighter than these first mountains. These mountains near to the center of the painting. But you are going to create snow in here on the left side of these tiny mountains, and they will fade, and you will have the impression that there is snow in there, and there are smaller mountains and a big mountain in the background, trying to create that what seems to be mist are actually low clouds that hang on the top of mountains, just come down in a serpentine manner, coiling its way until it meets the roots of the mountains. Can you see how this is turning out? Oh, well, it looks much better from there. Alright, it looks something more or less like this. And now let's go for the trees. Alright, let's go for the first purples and magentas for the trees in the distance. Fading trees. So the first trees you do are the trees in the distance. Fading colors, and as you approach, you are going to give a little bit more detail to the rest of the trees. Layers and layers of trees until you reach the point that you have to actually create some leaves. just make a wild mixture of magentas and purples, light purples, dark purples. Just go nuts, completely nuts, when you are doing these trees in the distance. Because don't worry, they may look, well, a bit crappier now, but you will cover them eventually with other trees and tree trunks and everything, and there will only be a glimpse of the fading trees in the background. Well, indeed, it looks better from there. The further away you are from this painting, the better it looks. Alright, let's start with the first tree. A big trunk all the way towards the sky, stretching its branches like this. And I think this is big enough for a tree. Alright, let's go for the first colors. The trees will have red, magentas, purples, yellows, light yellows. Well, from right to left, I will go from the darker colors to the lighter colors. The light of the sun, let's imagine it comes from the left, from the top left. Alright, I can't force painting while I'm not in the mood, so I'm going to take a break. For you it's just about 1 second, but for me it will be like 2 weeks, so see you in a minute, friends. Hello friends, I'm back, and it didn't took me 2 weeks, but only a few hours. I went for a walk to get some fresh air, and then I took a bath to clean my body and clear my head and cleanse my spirit. 3 words beginning with a C. I could start a religion with this. So now I have a completely different mood, and let's continue. Now where was I? Oh yes, the trees. I should have put on my glasses to see what I was doing, because I was doing something wrong and I was misleading you. The thing is, you have to pick the colors of the tree you want to make. In my case, yellows, oranges, magentas, purples, and so on. And then you start to make the silhouette of your tree with the different colors. And when you have finished create the tree, you start to paint the branches amongst the foliage of the tree and so on. Always remember that the light comes from the left side. It's more pleasant for the human eye for some reason. In my case, when I create trees, the light of course comes from the left, but from the upper left side of the painting. And I start with the dark shades of the colors I have picked here at the bottom right, and I go all the way like this to the upper left side. I do hate to complain, but for some reason I'm always complaining about everything. It is as if there was a whole different person inside of me, always glad to complain about something. The bloody bastard. You have heard this before. Like I said, I'm always complaining, but it's really complicated to paint in here, in my room. Yes, I know, but it's true. It's really maddening. This painting right here is 50 centimeters, and that's what, 19 inches? Is that it? Well, 19 inches, and the place where I'm working, right here, this little corner, is less than that. 50 centimeters is not a big painting, but for the place where I am, it's a huge painting. That's why it's so difficult to paint in here. A few hours ago I was getting desperate. I was beginning to think that it's not worth it, painting. But I'm the kind of person who finishes what he has started. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to finish this painting, and that's it. This is the last painting on canvas that I will do. I'll just continue drawing and painting on paper. And canvas, well, I'll just leave paintings on canvas for a time when I have my own space. And I began to think that it wasn't worth it, because I have close to 6,000 people on Facebook, on my Facebook page, but only like 100 people actually watch my paintings, watch my artistic works. And from those 100, only 50 people watch my YouTube videos. And from those 50, only 20, 15 actually give me some feedback. And from those 15, perhaps only 10, 12 or 13 are actually there to support me all the time. Of course, I'm talking about of family members, such as my parents and my grandfather, but also close friends, my ex-girlfriend, even though she's still supporting me, and friends such as Dana Sibit, Rustan Kirimov, Eric Bergeron, Lucy Viegas, Ottavia from Italy, and David, of course. David is a very cool guy. I call him James Franco because he looks like James Franco. Well, there is a couple of people who are always there to support me. There are only a few, but I do care about them. So I thought, no, I will continue working on my paintings. I'll continue to do canvas paintings, even if it's just for those people I've just mentioned. They're always there to support me, but I just can't quit. I'm actually painting for them, for those few, but the good kind of the good kind of people. Am I being unjust? Unfair? I'm sure there are more people out there watching my videos and watching my work and appreciating the art that I do, but the names I've just said are from the people who are constantly there, and that's why I remember their names. I am constantly talking to them. They are constantly giving me feedback and support. So don't get me wrong if I haven't mentioned your name. It's just I can't remember every name. I mean, I'm really bad with names, but I never forget a face, ever. I only need to see a face once, and I will remember it for the rest of my life. And if I see that person after 10, 20 years, I will still remember the person and know exactly where I saw that face. Well, names are just something else that I can keep in my mind. God, my voice is annoying. Tell me truly, is my voice annoying? I have to tell you something. I have to confess something to you. This isn't my real voice. You may have noticed that sometimes when I'm talking, my voice slips to a deeper tone. Well, my voice is a little deeper than this one that I'm making. Don't get me wrong. I've made this voice because I think it's friendlier. And I don't want to sound rude and perhaps arrogant. My real voice, the deeper one, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit threatening, and they might think that I'm being rude. I don't know. So tell me, is this voice annoying, because I want to sound friendly. Do you want me to talk with my real voice? So alright, let's do it. Let's start talking like this from now on. Do you feel threatened? Are you afraid? I'm just kidding. But yes, my voice is this deep. Not very deep, but deeper than the one I usually make. I absolutely have no idea how it sounds, because I have never recorded my true voice, this deeper voice. I've only recorded the other voice that I make, because to me it sounds, like I've said, friendlier voice. I can go on making this friendlier voice, no problem at all. But now that you know my secret, it's kind of weird, right? Now you are the ones to choose what's the voice you like the most. If this deeper one or, well, the other friendlier voice. Anyway, I know. I just have to be myself. But I have the impression that my real voice sounds threatening, as I have said, unpolite almost. And I don't want people to think that I'm being unpolite when I'm not. And I'm getting tired of this tree. I can't seem to finish it properly. Okay, let's move on to another tree. I've heard Morgan Freeman once say that our voice is what we make of it, what we want it to sound like. We can work out our voice. Maybe that's why he has that wonderful voice. He has been working on it for years. Anyway, let's move on to another tree. But first, painting the background with a darker color, because the tree I want to create in here will have lighter colors, and I want the background to be seen, as well as having the impression that there is a tree in there. Well, this painting that I'm creating, I think I will name it Ljósálfheim or Alphaheim. It's the same thing, but Ljósálfheim sounds, I don't know, more academic, perhaps, or more mysterious. As you well know, or at least those who know a little bit about Norse mythology, Ljósálfheim is the realm of the elves. And this place here in particular is the southern part of Ljósálfheim, a very dangerous area in the realm of the elves. Well, not all elves are friendly. This is just like with people. Not everyone is friendly. Not everyone is peaceful. There are good, there are bad, there are just normal people who are both good and bad. And that's the same things with elves. This is the southern part of Ljósálfheim, with the mountain chain in the distance, in the background. The mountain chain is a natural boundary which divides Vanaheim and Ljósálfheim from Svartalfheim, or Svartalfheim, the realm of the dwarves and the dark elves and other creatures. Don't get me wrong, the elves from Ljósálfheim have dealings with the dwarves and everybody else, at least on the eastern coast, and the elves near Vanaheim to the west are the ones you can trust. Surely, there won't be any problem. But deeper in Ljósálfheim and here in the south, things are a bit dangerous. It is indeed a place with deep forests, beautiful forests, but the mountains are nearby, the natural boundary between realms, and you have to be careful there. You might see or you might encounter something that you did not expect, because there are a lot of things that come through the mountains. They go through and fro between Svartalfheim and Ljósálfheim. That's why it is dangerous. Whenever you see birds taking flight, be sure that they are not frightened by your presence. There is something else in there. Something else draws near. Just pay attention to the birds and you are probably safe. Well, what I'm saying should be the subject for a video, or perhaps something only for my blog. But let's just pretend that this is a fantasy realm and I'm telling you a story. That's what it is. Just a story. Just a story that goes along with a painting. Paintings need a meaning. Well, it looks wonderful from there. It actually looks good. But where I'm standing, it's not looking good. This actually reminds me of Lothlorien from The Lord of the Rings, where Lady Galadriel lives. Yes, perhaps this should be the name instead of Ljósálfheim. I don't know yet. Alright, enough of these trees. Right here, let's go for a green one. It's a strange looking tree. More blue than green. Alright friends, I'm done with trees, so let's go for the ground now. As I have said in the beginning of the video, have you ever seen digital art? Of course you have. Just being silly. What I'm trying to do here is those quick brush strokes, almost as if this was Impressionism painting, just for the background, the first layers, a mixture of colors, and then I will give it some detail later. Just blend those colors, don't be afraid, just blend them at random. So in this painting I want the light to be the center of the painting, right here. The light coming from above, from the left and from above, right here. So the corners of this painting will be darker. That's why I'm starting to create some shadows in here for the trees. Yes, I haven't forgot about that. So I will be creating some trees in here, bigger trees. Starting to create grass in here, in the shadows. So it's not really green, but more like blue, dark blue. Look how beautiful this can be. You can go from black to a midnight blue, which is almost the same thing, and go all the way to the lighter colors, lighter hues of that same color that you are using. Now let's hope that I will not completely destroy this painting by creating a huge tree in here. Oh, why have I done this? No, I'm just kidding. It was planned all along. Yes, I was planning to completely ruin the painting. Now let's go for the leaves on the top. Well, a few last details and I think the painting is done. So let's see how it turned out, friends. Alright friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to watch more videos, and all the links to my social media are down below at the description. Thank you for watching, see you on the next week, and tack för idag!